Hi guys, this lesson is on finding distance and measuring with Pythagorean theorem. Okay, sorry that the flaps are a little upside down there. We're going to go ahead and look that we have and see that we have two different methods for how to find the distance between points and find lengths on the coordinate plane. Okay, so if we have a point here, find the distance between 3, 8 and 5, 0. Okay. The first thing that we can do, method 1, says that we can plot the points, make a right triangle, and then use Pythagorean theorem. Okay. So on the inside of your coordinate plane, we're going to plot the points 3, 8, that's our x and our y pair, and 5, 0. Okay. So I'm going to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? And then 5, 0, right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And now I'm going to make a right triangle out of this. In order to do so, I'm going to follow it straight down and across. And now I can connect and make that hypotenuse. Okay? Well, to find the distance between those 2 points, we're going to use Pythagorean theorem using our 2 legs. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 as one of my legs, and 1, 2. 2 as my other leg. So let's use Pythagorean theorem. We have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I was given a and b, so 8 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. 64 plus 2 squared is 4 equals c squared. So 68 equals c squared. The square root of 68 to the nearest tenth, it's about 8.2. Okay? That's one way to solve it. Let's look at the other way. Okay? Method 2. Okay, method 2 is on this flap. We're going to subtract our x's and square it, and then subtract your y's and square it, add them together, and find the square root. Okay? All right, so the first thing is subtract your x's. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Okay, and then we have subtract your y's. 8 minus 0 is 8. Okay, let's square them both now. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. And then 8 times 8, or 8 squared, is 64. Add them together. 4 plus 64 is 68. And then we'll find the square root is about, again, 8.2. Okay, that's finding distance between points using Pythagorean theorem. Okay? All right, let's do this one. Find the distance between 0, negative 7, and 7, negative 2. Let's go ahead and plot them. 0, negative 7, 1, 2, 3, 7. There's one of my points. And then 7, negative 2. Okay. Finding the distance between these points. I'm going to make a right triangle. Okay. And then find your legs. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So method 1 says that 5 squared plus 7 squared will give me c squared. That's the longest side that I'm trying to find. It's the hypotenuse. 25 plus 49 equals c squared. Add those two together, we get 74, and square root it. About 8.6 equals C. And let's show that the other way as well. Method 2, subtract your x's. 0 minus 0 minus 7 is -7, and -7, my y's, minus -2. Change, -5. Square them both. -7 times -7 is 49. 25. Add them together. We get 74. And then find the square root. It's about 8.6. Okay. Look at the ones at the bottom. Okay. Let's go ahead and graph them. So -1, -3, -1, 2. Okay. And then -4, -2. Draw a right triangle, and then your diagonal. Okay, so this dimension is 1 by 3. 1 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. 1 plus 9 equals c squared. So 10 equals c squared. Square root 10 is about 3.2. Okay. All right, and then find the other way. Method 2. First thing you do is subtract your x's. -1 minus -4 is 3. Subtract your y's. -3 minus -2, keep change, is -1. Square them. 3 squared is 9. -1 times -1 is just 1. Add them together. And then square root. Square root of 10 is 3.2. Okay. And then the last example. Okay, find this distance. Go ahead and graph them. -1, 4, and -6, 7. Draw your right triangle. It's easier to draw these legs first and then to connect your diagonal. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Okay. So this is method 1. 3 squared plus 5 squared will give me c squared. 9 plus 25 equals c squared. 9 and 25 is 34 equals c squared. And then the final step is to square root it. The square root of 34 is about 5.8. That's my answer. Showing it with method 2, subtract your x's. -1 minus -6. Keep change equals 5. Subtract your y's. 4 minus 7 equals -3. Square them. 25 and 9 is 34. Find the square root, 5.8. Okay. The code word for this lesson is goldfish. I don't think I've used that one already. And your left-hand page, I want you to you can do either method, but make sure that you do graph them, okay? It doesn't matter which method you choose, but make sure that you do graph them, okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to email me.